Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it's great to be back here in LA. Always a pleasure to be here. This sort of show plays a very significant role in our presentation of future mobility concepts. And it was just last year that we presented the world premiere of the Mini E here, in fact, in this very hall. And this year, we're proud to present a total of 6 North American show premieres in LA, including 3 concept cars. Now, of course, California plays a very special role in our business here in the US. It is our strongest market for all 3 of our brands, BMW, Mini, and Rolls-Royce. With our technology office in Palo Alto, our Design Works USA, and our engineering and emission test center in Oxnard, we already have facilities here well beyond the traditional sales business. Now, California, we also cooperate with the academic bodies of Stanford and UC Davis to involve students of America in projects focusing on vehicle efficiency, sustainability, and safety. And first, I'd like to give you a brief overview of where the BMW Group stands right at this moment. As Peter said to you, it's been a very challenging year, but we're in a good position because we reacted very early and we implemented the necessary measures in good time. We decreased production, we reduced our inventories, and we focused our efforts on liquidity and prudent management of our finances. And those who know us know that we're a company which focuses very, very clearly on the long term. To quote an expert from Credit Suisse, BMW is nothing for quarter junkies. It's all about sustainable recovery. Now, since April, we've continuously been making ground with our sales. After a slight growth in September and October, we expect a clear increase of retail in November when the final figures are confirmed in the next day or so. Our figures will be published for November on December the 8th. But as you can see from the chart, we've seen quite an increase already. Now, against this backdrop, the financial and economic crisis on the one hand, but also the continuous sales recovery since April, the BMW Group expects a relatively moderate sales decline in the range of 10 to 15% for the whole year of 2009. And we expect to see further solid growth as a result in December. And clearly, we are now well underway, once again, to being the world's leading premium manufacturer in 2009. Moreover, we intend to have a better overall performance in 2009 than the premium segment itself. BMW and Mini will both expand their market share in that segment over the year. And we have every reason to be more confident about the coming years. Between 2010 and 2012, we will replace around 60% of our current volume vehicles. Now, at the end of this week, we'll begin the sales in the US of the new BMW 5 Series Gran Turismo. And you can see that on the stand here. And just last week, we presented the new BMW 5 Series itself. And that'll come to the US in the second quarter of 2010. Now, I'm sure that US customers are really, really going to enjoy that car. A couple of other highlights for the US will be the introduction of the Rolls-Royce Ghost in 2010 and the X1 at a later stage in the year. Mini crossover will also come through at the back end of 2010, start of 2011. Now, as you can see, we're going to bring some really exciting products onto the market for you just in the next couple of years. And the US accounts for over 20% of the company's sales. We are absolutely strongly committed to this market and to the future of the auto industry here in the United States. And that's why we are investing $1 billion in growth and expansion of our business here in the United States. We're also committed to doing our part in achieving a sustainable future for the US car industry. We welcomed President Obama's recent announcement to further reduce carbon emissions in the US, and we will do all we can to contribute to the attainment of these goals. There is absolutely no doubt that mobility is changing. The crucial fact is that individual mobility will remain a very important strategic part of all of our lives. And this represents freedom and individuality. However, mobility of the future must be able to beat, or must be able to meet, both the ecological and individual needs. And for us at the BMW Group, premium also means sustainable. And this applies to the whole value chain, the whole life cycle of the vehicle. This includes our manufacturing plants. For example, our Spartanburg facility in the United States utilizes methane gas from a nearby landfill site for around 60% of its total energy needs. And we recognize the need to address climate change very early on, and now we lead the world in sustainable mobility. Here are just 3 examples. The BMW Group has delivered more fleet CO2 reductions than any other automobile manufacturer selling in the US or Europe. For the 5th consecutive year, we have been ranked the most sustainable company in the automotive sector by Dow Jones Sustainability Index. And we have the largest fleet of electric-powered cars involved in a global pilot project with the Mini E. As I said, launched just a year ago here in the US. Our leadership in sustainable mobility is the main reason why we recently have been chosen as the official automotive partner for the 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games in London. These will be the first sustainable games, and we will definitely be doing our part to realize that vision. Now, an important element of this is our Efficient Dynamics program. The consistent reduction of consumption and emissions in our whole fleet whilst preserving the ultimate driving machine and the performance that our owners have come to expect from that. The strategy of Efficient Dynamics can be divided into 3 steps. In the short and the medium term, the fuel consumption of the vehicles will be reduced by highly efficient engine generations, the use of innovative lightweight materials, and of course, intelligent energy management within the vehicle. Clean diesel technology plays a role in that Efficient Dynamics philosophy. Compared to a gasoline engine, the clean diesel typically requires 30% less fuel and produces 20% less CO2. Now, we're investing more in BMW advanced diesel models for the United States market in the future, in addition to our 335D and our X5 xDrive 35D. Diesel now accounts for 12% of our X5 sales in the US. And in November, I'm absolutely delighted to say that it made up 25% of X5 sales in the United States. Now, in the medium term, the BMW Group is also working on achieving additional consumption benefits through various measures, such as increasing the electrification of the drivetrain and hybridization. The 2 vehicles you see here behind me, the BMW Active Hybrid X6 and the BMW Active Hybrid 7, prove that the ultimate driving machine and maximum efficiency are no contradiction in terms. Now, the Active Hybrid X6, which is being built in Spartanburg for the world, will be launched in the United States in about 3 days' time and will come to Europe in April next year. So our American consumers will see this vehicle and experience this vehicle absolutely first. Now, we're certain that both hybrid models, the X6 and the 7 Series, will be particularly attractive to our US customers. Now, our long-term strategy is, of course, the development of zero-emission vehicles. So let's take a look a little bit further into the future. Now, as I said, LA is a good place for this, and that's why we've brought the BMW Vision Efficient Dynamics here. Now, this concept has already had highly acclaimed features by the world's media. Among the current concept electric supercars, it has been recognized as having, and I quote, the most sophisticated technology and the most striking design. Yet this concept car is definitely more than just a zero-emissions publicity stunt. The BMW Vision Efficient Dynamics combines the world's first diesel-electric hybrid powertrain with an aerodynamically efficient supercar body. It promises a future which individual mobility is both fuel efficient and, of course, fun. Now, our designers and our engineers decided, let's not just make an optical vision, let's take a technical standpoint as well. Let's take the interior space of a 6 Series and the driving performance of an M3 and deliver over 60 miles per gallon. Very, very simple. In order for you to see the BMW efficient Vision Dynamics car in motion, we made a short film, which you can now see just behind me. Now, I think this car looks even better when it's on the move. And it does show you that this car is a running prototype as well. At the Frankfurt Auto Show just a month or so back, we had the car circling hour by hour, so people could actually see the car on the move. Governor Schwarzenegger had the opportunity to sit in it yesterday. I think he enjoyed it. So who knows where this car may be in the future. Now, this vision clearly brings the expression, the ultimate driving machine, to an absolutely new level and shows that premium individual mobility definitely has a future, and it will definitely still be an emotional and joyful experience. Now, as does the Mini E. A year ago, as I said, this car was shown here in Los Angeles. Now, the Mini E is the first chapter of BMW Group's Project I, the company's research and development unit for a new type of vehicle specifically to meet the needs of the world's fastest growing megacities. We now have well over 600 Mini Es on the streets of the United States, Germany, and starting this month in the UK. And firstly, I'd like to thank all of our 450 participants in the United States for helping us to explore the everyday realities of driving an electric vehicle. Our findings from this project will provide an essential information for developing the second generation of electric vehicles, which, I might add, are already underway. Now, we've already announced that we will bring our megacity vehicle to the market in the first half of the next decade, i.e., within the next 5 years or so. This year, we took further steps towards the development of this vehicle. Cooperation with SB Limotive to supply lithium-ion batteries. Joint venture with SGL Carbon, the world's leading supplier of carbon materials. Now, this joint venture will create new jobs in BMW's 2 largest markets, the US and in Germany.